I will, in fact, be in the building for Hawks Hornets because why would I not be in the building for Hawks Hornets?
Would you on the 55th floor or 56? What you got?
Okay, I don't like where this is going. Anyway, back to basketball.
You can get free Wi-Fi this time. Jeez.
Okay. Anyway, the season series was tied 2 games apiece when these teams matched up with each other. I am intrigued by. I'm intrigued by the defense in this one. I don't think either of these teams are good defensively, but the Hornets do enough weird stuff that could throw Atlanta off, and that's all you need for a single game format, as we just saw in the last meeting with these two. It starts with, okay, we're going to play kind of at the level and drop back against Trey. That was cool for 3 minutes. Now we're just going to trap all the time. All right, that was cool for like 7 minutes. All right, cool. Now we're going to go zone. We're actually going to go box and one. Then we're going to flip back to a 2-3. Now we're going to press a little bit. Now we're going to keep trapping you. And it's weird. You look at like the regular season numbers when these two teams matched up. Like Trey has not been able to find the rhythm against this Hornets team, despite them not having a great defender for him. Like Cody Martin's done a good job on him. Terry Rozier has gotten most of those matchup minutes, and that's been hit or miss. But the help he's getting elsewhere kind of forces the ball out of Trey's hands, kind of forces him to string things out, and Trey can make those passes. But it does put a lot of pressure on the others for the Hogs.
Oh, it's absolutely going to be an others game.
Mm-hmm.
And this game is a defensive baby race. Someone's crossing the finish line. I don't know who. Your Trae Young point has a lot of value because it's the first thing that jumped out on me. And as you talk about it, I think we talked about the danger of Atlanta and Trae Young in the playoffs because of what he does. And we've seen what he does in the playoffs as far as, hey, I'm in pick and roll. You have to figure it out. If you do not figure it out, I'm going to score and I'm going to throw lobs, and you still haven't figured it out. Now you're really in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte is not what anyone would call the strongest defensive unit. We can be honest here. It's a safe space.
Correct.
But they have enough. They just take whatever's in their bag when they play Atlanta and just throw it all out there. Like whatever they got. They're just throwing stuff out of the bag, throwing it on the court. We'll figure something out. And I think it kind of works because we talked about it with Devin Booker the other time. You can't give Trae Young one look. He is who he is. So you can't give him one look. And Charlotte surely did not give him just one look.
Sure did.
You mentioned most of it, but hey, we're gonna put size and length on you. We're gonna get quickness and speed on you. Mason Plumlee's gonna trap, double drag. We're gonna switch the first screen, trap the second one. You're coming up in transition. We're just gonna run a double at you. Like we're gonna do whatever we can to keep you out of a rhythm and make them do stuff. But just enough of out of a rhythm so that you can't really tell what we're about to do. And that's the key. Can Charlotte do that again? Because I thought the last time these two played, Charlotte did a great job of just, again, throwing everything they could at him to just make it not be a complete automatic.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being the game plan, because I think there was a play where he caught it on the wing, Trae Young did, and like it was just a benign pass, and 3 Charlotte people moved towards him. And I was like, huh, this is what y'all are on. So it's gonna have to be an others game. Like Kevin Huerter is gonna have to have one of those 4 for 6 second quarters. Bogdanovich is gonna have to hit those shots. Gallo's gonna have to go off. Like someone has to set the tone that way. Mm-hmm. So now the Trae Young impact can be more. Now we can punish you. Now we can get back to our lobs. Now we're kicking. Now you're worried about the kick. It has to be that kind of mix because Charlotte, regardless of how good they are defensively, it's clear what poison they're not picking.
Mm-hmm. They're not letting Trey do it. I want to flip a question to you really quickly because I talked about decision making in regards to the Wolves game, and I went back today and I was watching that last Hornet Hawks game. I remember we talked about it, or at least I brought it up on the very next pod, and how I was like, okay, these are the Cobb County Hogs. I don't care about them. This is what a disgrace we saw in this fourth quarter, yada, 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 right? So I went back, watched the full game.
Wait, a quick pause. for you calling them the Cobb County Hawks on this pod and then attending the play-in game.
It's
Continue.
it's actually in Atlanta, so I can just bring it all full circle. But anyway,
You about to get packed up at a Waffle House.
Hey man, worst place to be packed up, let me tell you. We're not doing Waffle House slander on this podcast. Nearest to my heart, Waffle House Cookout and Martinelli's. We can't do anyway.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
So disappointed. The decision making for the Hawks others is going to be key too, because when I went back and watched this game, again, Charlotte did a great job of forcing the ball out of Trey's hands, but you also saw a very stark difference in processing speed between Trae Young and everyone else on their roster. Trey would make the pass to Clint Capella, and he made some nice short roll reads, but every last one of them felt a beat or a beat and a half too slow, even when he made the right one. If you got the Bogdanovich, like he was the most fluid, the most aggressive off the catch, but even he had some, let me pump and let me see if this guy falls for the pump fake. Oh no, it's a record scratch. Oh no, I need to create something now. Kevin Huerter had moments like this. DeAndre Hunter had a ton of moments where he would just catch, hold, and now Charlotte's able to reset. And it's just like, Charlotte is not a good defensive team. They are trying to take out your best player by forcing the ball out of his hands. If you attack immediately, shoot immediately, catch and go immediately, they do not have the personnel to hold up consistently. You will get great shots against this Hornets team. It will then be up to you to make those shots. And to that point in the second half, when Charlotte really pulled away, particularly in the fourth quarter, like Atlanta was able to create good shots. They just did not make them, which again, credit to Charlotte for taking everyone out of rhythm to get to that point. But the shots were there. And I'm just watching this. I'm like, yo, if you just make the decision half a second sooner, you're good. Because Charlotte can't really do this. And so I'm just kind of keyed in on if the Wings can make quick decisions and going a little bit lower in the depth chart, and I'll flip it to you from here. Like, I want to see how Nate McMillan handles the center room, because I'm looking at the decisions that Clint made in short roll, and it's like, okay, this will be too slow. I don't know if I like this, but he was also the most reliable lob threat that Trey had, and he holds up defensively. And now look at what Onyeka Okongwu provided in that game. He's screening and slipping, and he's making quicker decisions. But also, the Hornets did not seem afraid of him at the rim. Had some nice vertical contests in that game, and they just went right into his chest.
Montrezl Harrell went right into his chest.
Sure did.
Over and over and over. What's the Marshawn Lynch quote? Run. I can't say it. Anyways.
Look it up, folks.
Yeah. I think that, to your point, their decisions have to be quick. Those guys have to be aggressive. Even if you're missing, you gotta let it fly. You can't be passive. That ball swings, you gotta get it moving. You gotta attack. Keep Charlotte in rotation. Keep them going on that end. I think Capella is going to be the guy, and you need minutes from Okongwu. And if he's got the role going and he can hold up on the other end, you may see a flip. But I think it's going to be up to Capella to show up on both ends of the floor for Atlanta to have this shot, because he's the guy. Trae Young's going to come and pick and roll. Capella is the lob threat. He's got to open things up consistently and then be a defensive force, which has been missing for too often of this year if you're an Atlanta fan. But for me, I want to see if Atlanta can just stay solid on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they can make quick decisions offensively and then defensively stay solid, just keep Charlotte in the half court, keep the ball in front so you're out of rotation, make them play late in the clock. They will. Give yourself an opportunity.
To the point, among the star guards, let me just ask a LaMelo question. Are you worried at all about his defense in this game? I think Trey's the easy one to point to because of the size limitations and some of the effort stuff. But are you worried about LaMelo in this case?
I'm worried about everyone in this game.
Fair enough.
If we're being honest. Mm-hmm. But not particularly LaMelo. I could very well be wrong, but I think there's going to be enough flying around and rotating that I'm not going to say, oh, it's purely LaMelo's fault or they're purely attacking him. Because even if they try, I feel like they would just trap and kick him out, those kind of things. So, not particularly.
Okay. Some free throw questions. Who do you trust more in this game, Clint Capella or Mason Plumlee?
Mason Plumlee.
Ah, I wish I could say I was surprised.
This is the thing, folks. You have to just stay down in the shot fake, put your hand out, be ready to contest.
That's what Mason does. He's generally in, he contests. He did legitimately good work in that last game because they had that man trapping all over the place. He was doing the thing. Like unironically, he did a good job defensively in that game. And then on the other end, like we talk about the short roll decisions with Clint, like he was nailing them. That's what you need from him. I don't know if I want to see floaters from him ever again, but like the passing was good. Is that allowed?
So close. We were so close.
I just, I'm just pointing out what I see. That's all. I have some concerns about LaMelo. Like I think once you get into multi-screening actions that involve him, or kind of similar to the Anthony Edwards point in the Minnesota game, if he's the low man, like I do kind of worry about that. He's very instinctive off the ball. He's very aggressive off the ball. So I would not be surprised if his matchup hits 4 threes, and I would not be surprised if LaMelo has 4 steals in this game. That's just the kind of risk reward he plays with off the ball. I think that in conjunction with just how aggressively Charlotte wants to play Atlanta, like I think there's going to be a little bit more responsibility on him than normal in this game to be solid. Because Charlotte was just looking back to their traps, like they were sending two to the ball, and they are flying off of the weak side corner to peel in early. It was basically like, okay, we're going to have Rozier plus Mason Plumlee, or we're going to have Cody Martin and Mason Plumlee, or Cody Martin plus Montrezl Harrell, whatever. We're going to put size on Trae Young in this trap. He's going to string it out. The only thing that you are allowed to do is to make the cross court pass to the corner. We are baiting it. It is open if you are good enough to make it consistently. And Trae would try it, and it would get there. But by the time it would get there, they would be able to rotate back. Or we'd have the record scratch situation where the pass is made and then it's a pump, and then they're able to reset. And so I'm just intrigued to see like what that cat and mouse is going to be like.